I think as teachers, we can all agree that 2020 was a dumpster fire. Let's face it. Nobody wants to ever have to look at another digital activity. It'll be too soon, right? Am I right, teachers? But one good thing that did come out of last year's school year was that teachers and students now more than ever have access to so much more technology tools, and that is actually a really good thing. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tech tools that will help you implement that technology that you now have at your fingertips so that it doesn't just sit in the cabinet and collect dust. Stay tuned. What's kicking, educational rock stars? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Farah from Farah Henley Education, where I strive to bring you actionable tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life a little easier. Now, if this is your first time joining me here on the channel, welcome. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that you get notified when I go live or upload a new video here on the channel. Now, if you're loving the content that you're seeing and hearing in this video, be sure you hit that like button on the video so that it gets pushed out to more teachers so that they can get help as well. Let's talk about something. Even though last year was a train wreck, dumpster fire, hot mess, however you want to describe it, one good thing that came out of last year was all of the technology that now teachers and students have access to. Now, I get it. A lot of teachers, and I just spent 2 days with over 200 teachers talking about math and literacy centers and how to run them in their classroom from the students and the members inside my Learning Centers Made Easy membership. And one of the things I told them, I was like, I realize it. I get it. The last thing you ever want to look at right now is another digital activity. Can I get an amen? Drop a heart in the comment if that's you. If you're like, if I never look at another digital activity again, it will be too soon. But let's face it, at some point, you are going to want to put that technology to use so that it doesn't just sit in a cabinet and collect dust, because that would be a total waste of resources. And quite frankly, digital resources or digital tools can actually make your teacher life easier. It can make it easier to grade. It can make it easier for your students to submit assignments, easier for you to give feedback on assignments. And I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tools for making that happen. So let's go ahead and dive into the tools. Now, the first tool that I'm going to share with you is, or that I want to tell you about, is Floop. Now, Floop. Has anybody ever heard of that? F-L-O-O-P. Has anybody ever heard of Floop? If I don't know how new it is, but I've been taking a look at it and it's absolutely amazing. So you might be saying, okay, what is Floop? Well, let me tell you. Floop is a program that you can use where you can actually collect images, you can collect PDFs, you can collect Google Docs from your students, but you can leave text and comments on those documents, and that's going to lead to conversation. The thing about it is that your students are going to get feedback when they need the feedback, and they're going to be able to give you feedback 4 times faster than the traditional methods because they have a digital Dropbox and comment banks and so forth. It's going to make your teacher life easier as well. Now, this probably is not something that my maybe lower elementary teachers are going to be really interested in, because there's another platform that I'm going to share with you here in a moment that I think is more suited maybe for K2. It's just a little simpler for those younger students, but definitely 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. Take a look at it. You can go to floopedu.com, and after our chat, I'm going to put all of these links up in the description, but you can go to floopedu.com. Students are going to engage with their feedback while it's still relevant as well. It's not going to be like, a couple of days later when you actually get to hand stuff back. They're going to be able to do that. And you're going to be able to have conversations back and forth with them. If they need to make corrections, they can make corrections and resubmit it and so forth. And they learn how to use that feedback in order to grow their skills. And listen, sometimes we need to give our students immediate feedback, and that's what I love about this. So check it out, floopedu.com. All right, so the next platform or the next tech tool that I want to share with you is one that I loved using in my classroom, and that is Pear Deck. If you've ever heard of Pear Deck, Let me know in the comments. Have you heard of Pear Deck? Have you used Pear Deck? Have you even taken a look at it? I want to know in the comments. So you might be asking, what is Pear Deck? Well, Pear Deck integrates with Google Slides. So if you've already been using Google Slides, there is absolutely, in my opinion, no reason why you shouldn't be using Pear Deck. Pear Deck also is great if you have a class set of devices, because Pear Deck, it integrates with Google Slide, and it integrates as an add-on, but you can create engaging activities, and you can do real-time lessons with a slide deck in front of your students on their own individual devices, and the students can interact in real time. You can do quizzes, you can ask them questions, they can answer in real time. I love it. And the great thing about it is it's not just for that. You can actually give them a little bit of an assignment, for example, from a Google Slides, and they can come in and they can be working on it. But you, the teacher, can see everybody at once from your device, and you can see what they're working on. And I used to love giving my students an assignment, having them working on it, and then I would actually go in and watch from my device to see who was struggling and who was having problems. Love, 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 love Pear Deck. So check out Pear Deck, and that's PearDeck, peardeck.com. I love it. I love the fact that it integrates with Google Slides, which is awesome, because if you use our math and literacy centers and you have the digital version comes with a Google Slides version. So you can use those centers inside Pear Deck. It is so awesome. I absolutely love it. So make sure you check that out. The next tech tool that I want to share with you is an actual piece of equipment. And I absolutely loved mine. I hated to give it up. I kind of everything that I gave up. I actually passed it down to the teacher, a brand new teacher that was coming in behind me. But I loved my Hue document camera. Anybody got a document camera? Because I love being able to have a document camera that I could just slide documents or books or anything underneath. And if you don't have a document camera, I think you definitely need to get one. And I love the Hue document camera. It's so simple. It's so portable. It's so nice to have. And you can put anything underneath it. Now, there are some other ways that you can you make this happen. Before I got the Hue document camera, I used my iPhone to project because I was using an Apple TV in my classroom. But once I got the Hue document camera, it made things so much simpler, and it was so compact and so portable that I could take it just about anywhere I wanted to take it. I loved bringing it over to my teacher table and being able to project up on the board other things, like especially if I was at my teacher table and I was working with students maybe one-on-one in a small group, but I still needed to share something with the rest of the class. I loved that. Absolutely loved that. So a Hue document camera, and if you don't have one, you need to get one. The next 3 platforms that I want to share with you are some of my favorite platforms for using digital resources. The first one is kind of one that's been around a long time, and that's Google Classroom. I absolutely love Google Classroom. Even if your school is not a Google school, you can still use Google Classroom in your classroom. I actually never taught at a Google school, but I still used Google Classroom because I could assign digital activities to my students. And even if I didn't have enough devices for them to all have a device in the classroom, I usually had at least a couple of devices that we could use in centers, and I could assign digital centers, like the centers from our Volume 1 and Volume 2 digital center packs, and I could assign those, and the students could work digitally. It was just less paper. It was less work in setting up. It was literally a click to assign, and I could have that. I also loved, because I would have that for kind of a digital portfolio for my students during parent-teacher conferences. I could pull that stuff up and pull that work up. But I also loved it for my students who might be absent, because let's face it, nothing is worse. Well, I won't say nothing is worse, but it is absolutely a pain in the rear end if you have a student absent and then they come back and they've got this stack of work that needs to be done. Why not use a platform like Google Classroom to where if a student is going to be absent, it's super simple to take a picture or even a screenshot of a digital worksheet or whatever paper you're going to be handing out to the class, and to assign it to them on Google Classroom and let them complete it while they're at home. And then they're not behind when they come back to class. I also loved Google Classroom when I did a flipped classroom. And that was where I was actually recording myself doing a lesson. And instead of me doing the lesson in class, I assigned the video as homework. That way, when they came back to class, we were actually putting it into practice instead of me using class time to teach the lesson. And my parents that year loved that because it also meant my parents could see how I was teaching something and they were able to better help their students with their homework. Okay, so now the next one kind of goes along the same lines as Google Classroom. Now, I used Google Classroom from kindergarten all the way through 5th grade, but I love Seesaw. And Seesaw is great. I actually never got to use Seesaw in the classroom. I learned about Seesaw after I left the classroom, but let me tell you, I'm an ambassador for Seesaw. I went through the training, I learned it, and let me tell you, if I was back in a K-2 classroom, I would be using Seesaw all the way. Seesaw is so simple for the little ones, and I know a lot of 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers use Seesaw as well, but it is so easy for those little ones to do those assignments on Seesaw. And another great thing about our digital centers is we have preloaded them into Seesaw activities for you to use K through 5. So if you are a Seesaw teacher, you can use those activities in Seesaw. We've already loaded them up. They're ready to go. Just click and assign. But just like Google Classroom or Schoology or any of the other platforms, you are able to assign activities digitally, and it's great for if you want to integrate some of that technology that you now have into like your centers or your learning inside the classroom, but also for times like when your students are going to be absent, or maybe you need to give homework and you want to do it on a device, and instead of sending papers home that might get lost or might not ever make it back to school. So it's just a way to make your teacher life easier and cut down on your planning time. Absolutely love Seesaw. Now, the last platform that I'm going to share with you that is one of my favorite is Boom Cards. If you have not discovered Boom Cards yet, you have got to go to boomlearning.com. Listen, most teachers know what a task card is. They've used task cards in their classroom. They're just the little cards that have a problem on it, and the students solve it, and they usually write their answers on a piece of paper. However, Boom Cards takes task cards to a whole new level. It makes task cards digital, and they're self-checking. Listen, that alone saves you time, and we are all about simple systems that are going to save you time. Boom Cards is amazing. The kids love it. They get instant feedback as to whether it's right or it's wrong. If it's wrong, it won't let them move on until they get it right. And the sky is the limit on the amount of activities that you can create using Boom Cards. Now, there are different levels to how many students you can have and how many activities that you yourself can create and so forth. But there's also an extensive library of teacher authors who have created Boom Cards that you can purchase from the store. And they're usually very, very inexpensive. But Boom Cards is amazing because of that instant feedback. That's one thing you can't get really with Google Classroom activities or Google Doc activities or even Seesaw activities. Those two platforms, the teacher still kind of has to grade things. However, with Boom Cards, it is instant, it is graded, and you, the teacher, get access to all that data and more. The amount of data that Boom Cards gives you access to on your students, you can drill down. I kid you not. You can drill down to the exact card, the exact question that your student got wrong, and you can even see what answer did they choose first and got it wrong. What answer did they choose second and got it wrong? This gives you so much data to be able to see the process that your student was going through before they actually got the right answer, so that you can figure out, do I need to pull this student and reteach this concept? I cannot say enough about Boom Cards. It is probably my favorite tech tool to use in the classroom, and next to my document camera, I must say. But if you have not tried it out, you need to go check out boomlearning.com. And the great thing also, our digital centers, our Volume 2 now include Boom Cards. So you can even use our centers inside Boom Cards if you're using Volume 2. I did so many tutorials for different platforms for teachers last year that I was just so excited, because for years I've been a techie teacher inside my classroom, and I was always kind of that odd man out, because and teachers have resisted tech. A lot of teachers have resisted tech for many, many years, and they were kind of forced to use it last year. And I really hope they take those newfound skills and you take them back into your classroom and you use them, because the world our students are going into is a technology-based world. Now, if you're looking for more tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life easier, check out the videos on your screen. Thanks for watching, and keep being an educational rock star.